What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Here today behind me I have both of the trucks. Truck number one, the 2001 Dodge Ram, and truck number two, the 2019, which is basically a 2020 Silverado. All right, so today's video is basically going to be about what's it like owning new and what's it like owning old. So what's it like owning both of these vehicles at the same time, the old and the new? Yes, I know these are two different models and brands of trucks. We got a Dodge over here and we got Chevy over here. All right, but the main focus here is truck wise, drivability, exterior, interior, old issues versus new issues. All right, so the biggest one of all right, that I'm sure a lot of you will agree with is technology and computerized components on new versus old trucks. All right, old trucks, I got the perfect situation for you guys because I just did this on this new truck here. I just did the brakes on this truck. When I bought this truck, it had some used brakes on it and they were about maybe 50%, and or at least that's what the sensor computerized, again, that was what we were talking about, the computer system in the truck alerted me and let me know that, hey, it's time to change your brakes. So I went ahead and changed the brakes just because it was my first time changing brakes on this truck, so I didn't know where they were exactly in the first place. But back to this older truck, the perfect situation I have for you guys about the computerized situation of the differences and what it's like owning two trucks at the same time, old and new, which is the perfect example I can give you guys again is brakes, changing brakes, and the computerized system of a new truck telling you that, hey, your brake pads are getting low, it's time to look at your brakes and maybe change them out, versus something that's old. Something that will tell you guys, if you got an older vehicle, older truck, is your brake pad sensor is that your brake lights may come on, or another indicator is noise. You guys may start hearing a noise when you're driving your older vehicle and coming from your wheel, and you have to get out and take your wheel off and start inspecting. With your new computerized trucks or your new computerized vehicles, you now have a brake monitoring system which alerts you when your brake pads, or when the vehicle or truck in this situation senses that your brake pads and your caliper pistons are compressing too much and are almost all the way out to where it senses that, and then saying, hey, your brake pads are low now, you need to start looking at a time to go get those changed or change them immediately. But for an older truck, it's more so as giving you the warning signs. You won't get the warning signs on your dash because it's an older style vehicle. There is no digital display, there is no Apple or Android Auto or CarPlay or whatever. There's none of that stuff in the older vehicles, so you have to listen with your ears for the signs. You have to see and smell the signs as well for older vehicles. But for braking in this situation, you got to hear, all right, or you got to basically know and have your intervals like I do. A lot of people don't do this, but I have my intervals and what I write down for brakes on this particular truck, on when the time frame of mileage that I have on this truck of when I'm going to need another set of brake pads. So I have that written down in my notes, and I keep a folder of all that stuff. All right, I knew I changed the brakes at this mile, and they started to look like this, and my truck started braking poorly, so I went ahead and changed my brakes. So for that same time frame, that's when I'll know again later on in the future, all right, it's coming up on that mile that I estimated that my brakes are going to have to get changed again, and let me get out, let me find some time to inspect my brakes. And if they're getting pretty low, I know I only got maybe a month or so left on the brakes, and that I'm gonna have to get out there one day and start working on my truck again and changing the brakes out. So for all you do-it-yourself type of backyard mechanic type of guys that do your own work on your own vehicles, that's a very good tip that you guys should start doing if you haven't already. A lot of people know this trick and do it, but then again, a lot of people don't, because a lot of people sometimes are just a little intimidated about working on their own vehicles. But it is what it is. You're either that kind of person or you're not. But going back to the older truck here, Let's start talking about some exterior stuff. So that was the first example that I can give you guys, basically computerized versus non-computerized. That's one of the biggest changes and biggest things about owning two different style of trucks, and old versus new. So the next thing is exterior. So the exterior, obviously they're two different colors. We got satin steel over here and we got jet black over here. Let's talk about the paintwork first. I am a guy that has absolutely taken 10 out of 10 care of my truck, especially my older truck here, and then now it's this one's turn again as well. But for owning both of them, I will take care of both of them. Obviously you guys know how I am. You guys have seen the video of the surface shield that I put on here, and you can actually maybe see some of it right now starting to finally wash off a little bit. I have never taken a brush to this truck after applying that surface shield. The main point of that surface shield is you want to leave it on as a barrier for that salt. So if you guys don't understand that, please go back and watch those videos as well, and you'll see why the truck has this kind of haziness to it right now. That is the exact reason why it has this haziness to it right now and doesn't look absolutely mirror shine clean like the new truck right here. But after I washed all this off, when winter's over here, it's still late March, so we actually got a snow yesterday here in Cleveland, Ohio. So that's where I'm located, guys, if you didn't know that, and which is why I do surface shield, and why it is the absolute best product that you can put as an undercoat and a paint coat as a barrier to keep the rust away from your vehicles and all that salt. I did my wife's car as well, and she plans on keeping that car for a very long time. So I did her car as well, just like I plan on keeping this truck and this truck for a very long time. I did this truck as well, so again, go back and watch that video. But after I wash all this stuff off, you guys will see the black paint work. This truck is a 2001 Dodge Ram 1500 V8 SLT. If you were to look up on Google right now this same exact truck, you guys would see the exterior of those trucks all rotted out. You would see holes all in them. The only thing that I have on this truck that is just like any other second gen 2001 Dodge Ram is the cracked dash. I bought this truck used with over 100-something thousand miles on it, and it already had the cracked dash. So that was something that I could not prevent. All right, but that is the absolute only thing that this truck, this second gen 2001 1500, has that all the other Rams have that you will see and click on Google with, or see that are for sale in Facebook Marketplace and stuff like that. My truck right here has none of that except for that cracked dash. I'll tell you the spots where they are, especially for those rust holes. This whole panel right here, rust. Back there, rust. All along here, rust. Rust. The rockers rusted out. Hood starting to rust out at the front here. All of those 2001 Dodge Rams and between those year models have rust in those spots. I have none of that yet because of how well I've taken care of this truck, and I drive this truck in the wintertime. This is my winter vehicle right here. All right, and I have none of that. Explain to me why. If you would know why if you watched all of my videos. So if you're new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you can see how I keep rust off of a 2001 Dodge Ram. And my 2001 Dodge Ram does not look like everybody else's. My 2001 Dodge Ram that I drive in the winter, excuse me, and I live in a heavily salted area, and I know because I'm the one putting that salt down. Trust me, I know. And my 2001 Dodge Ram still looks like this. And yes, again, I have this surface protected on it, so it does look hazy right now, but as soon as I wash that off, you guys will see that there's no rust on this truck, and the paintwork is in pretty good condition for a 2001. I'll be honest, I do have sunspots on the roof. I do have sunspot right here, and I do have a sunspot on this other side here that I just put some protectant over and some plasti dip over. So I'll be dead honest with you guys on that. Other than that, this truck is absolutely 10 out of 10 for a Cleveland, Ohio truck. And I have gotten many requests to sell the truck to people just passing me by, or people in the parking lot just saying, hey, you want to sell it, you want to sell it. I've never seen a clean 2001 Dodge like that. And here I have it. All right, moving on to this truck. All right, I'll make this part quick because obviously it's a new truck. It is what it is. All you guys know that new vehicles come with new paint. All right, so for this truck and the paint work, all right, you guys know what we did for the rockers and all the prone areas to rock chips and stuff like that. So give a shout out to Block of Chips. So if you guys want to learn about what I did to this truck to protect the paint, make sure you guys go watch that video, all right, and see what Block of Chip did for me there in that video. Again, if you're new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button. So for this paint work, again, this is satin steel. I put a surface protectant over this paint, and Block of Chip also did all of their work for me as well for the rock chip prone areas of this truck for any vehicle. But again, obviously just cutting it to fit this truck. So they use the XPEL, I hope I'm saying that correctly, the XPEL film, and I absolutely love that stuff. Every single vehicle that I get and use, I have them put the XPEL paint protective film on there. It's just a clear film that goes over your paint work, and it will absolutely keep the paint on your new vehicles looking flawless. And it is self-healing if it gets semi-scratched. Now if you get a razor and start scratching on purpose and stuff like that, and scratching underneath that protectant film, then yes, obviously you're going to do damage. But it works, guys. So that is something that I absolutely recommend to anybody getting a new vehicle. That is the first thing I recommend getting done. And then the second thing is obviously the paint protection of the surface shield, of spraying and undercoating your vehicles, especially if you live in a place that has winter time and they use salt to melt your roads. So again, that is the #1 priority you guys should be thinking about when you first get a new vehicle. It's not having fun with it and driving it. It's all right, you just got your vehicle. The next day you need to be calling to get your vehicle undercoated and paint protected, because you're going to be mad at yourself when you're driving down the road in your new whip, your new truck, your new car, whatever, and that rock flies up behind somebody's car off somebody's rear tire and smacks your windshield, smacks your bumper, smacks your hood, your mirror, something on your vehicle, and you don't have any protectant on there, and it's going to be a bad day. Your smile is going to turn upside down, absolutely. So I highly recommend protect your paint. All right, so this paint again is flawless. Don't need to talk a whole bunch about that. All right, it's a brand new truck. Next thing, all right, let's go one more thing about exterior here. All right, is looks. All right, old look versus new look. And again, yes, I know these are two different brands of trucks, but talk about the old first. Old style grill, old style lights, old style mirrors, all right, and old style tail lights. That's pretty much it when you're talking about in terms of, I guess, products outside of paint work and rims and tires and stuff like that. But on newer vehicles, you start getting into, again, more computerized stuff. So you got your mirrors, but they're updated mirrors with LED lights in them and with motors in them to open and close when you want them to by the press of a button. Now you have door handles, like let's go to the old here, old key style, where you stick your key in, turn it, then your door opens. All right, now you have keyless entry. That's where the keyless entry term came from. So now you have a button here that if your key fob is in your pocket and close near the truck and you press that button, boom, you get that unlock, and now you have an open door. Speaking of open door, check that light out right there. We got one back here too. I just installed these the other day and made a video for you guys. So again, if you haven't watched that video about these courtesy door lights, go check that video out. These things turned out awesome. I love them. But again, computerized. All right, go to something else. Here we are here with the lights. All right, got LED lights now instead of halogen lights. But again, I did an update on this truck and did switch out the halogen lights for LEDs. So that is something that you guys can do for older vehicles and older trucks. But they come standard on newer trucks, especially if you get a higher trim level vehicle. Like this is an LTZ Z71. They automatically come with LED lights. All right, the only halogen light that comes on this truck is the blinker. All right, and I did change mine to LEDs as well, so that will be the only lights that you have to change from halogen to LED if you choose the LTZ model for Chevy. Other companies, don't quote me on this, not for sure, but come all with LEDs. I know some have the option, just like this truck here with the LTZ model, come with some LEDs and then some halogen lights. So I know especially for some tail lights as well. So again, for the tail lights for the older style, those are halogen as well. I changed mine to LEDs. I recommend you all guys do that. Everybody is starting to do that as well, with buying newer and or used trucks, trying to find ways to get some more light output and get some more flashiness on their vehicles. But same thing for my rear tail lights over there. On this truck, they're all LED. All right, so again, higher tech, higher computerized components. Not much computerized components at all, other than obviously your ECU and your lights and stuff like that. Other than that, you're all manual. Here, it's all key fob, it's all buttons. I said in my intro video of this truck, I have never had the amount of buttons on a vehicle before that I'm seeing and have now on this truck. I've never had any of that.
It's a spaceship, boss!
Have never had the heated cooled seats button pressed. I've never had the infotainment system, the whole radio setup, the whole steering wheel setup. I've never had any of that. I've always had the old style because I choose to live frugal, and it's gotten me by so far and saves me a lot of money. But I did explain why I did get something new. This is my backup plan. This is my newer fun vehicle now for a change, just because of what I'm going through in my life and running a landscaping business and needing a backup plan if something ever happened to this truck. So I had to get rid of all 3 bikes, had to get rid of the Corvette, had to get rid of some stuff. And I told you guys the very important part was that my business allowed me to get all of those fun toys. So if I kept those fun toys and just kept the one truck and something happened to this truck, I would have no way of continuing my business, and that business made me money to have those fun toys. So I hope you guys understand that. So I had to get a backup plan. So if something happens to this, I now have a backup plan to haul my equipment around. And now we'll be able to get newer fun toys into the mix. So that'll fill this space right here. So you see this gap where the Corvette and the bikes used to be? Now we got 2 trucks. So now this truck and this truck will now make me a surplus of that money, and now we'll get some new, brand new toys in here. But if I didn't have these trucks and just had my toys, that's not making me any money. These are the money makers right here to get the new toys right here. So you guys got to understand that, especially my younger subscribers. You got to make the sacrifice, all right, or you'll never grow. You'll just stay with your current new toys. You got to sacrifice. All right, so getting back into this, last thing we're going to talk about here is interior. All right, I spoke a little bit about the interior of this truck here. All right, but again, most of it is computerized. We got rear heated seats, rear front, and cooled for the front seats. Updated leather. So let's go over here. Updated leather in here, real nice. Got the ventilated and heated seats in here. All leather. This is not plastic. This is the LTZ model, so this is all leather in here. Got some plastic on the door. We got the hardwood dark grain on the door panels here. We got Bose sound system. All right, all new stuff. LED lights in here. Steering wheel. Buttons. We have also one last thing here is button pressed is our rear windshield, so that will open. On our Dodge Ram, it's all manual. You have to manually open this back one. On our new truck, it's button pressed. Again, computerized, electronic. Let's go over to the interior on this truck. All right, I don't know how well you guys can see in here. Sorry about the darkness. Let me get my phone out for a second. On here, we have plastic and carpet. Yeah. So we have dials over here. Over here, we have dials. Again, no button pressing. Not a lot of electronics going on in here, except for obviously the wiring when you do turn the dials. Other than that, we got cloth seats, kind of look like carpet. When you install carpet, that foundation flooring. And then we do have button pressed. This is the Laramie SLT model. We do have the heated mirrors on this truck and the button automatic windows. But other than that, guys, that's pretty much it for a truck like this, an older style truck. A 2001 Dodge Ram Laramie SLT. So that is the difference. All right, and that's what the difference is about owning two different styles of trucks and two different trucks at once, and what it's like owning old versus new. So thank you guys for watching. Appreciate it. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in the next one.
Have you ever felt?
Are you listening? Damn.